down the hallway and found out that he was going to be speaking on stage. See, back then and there in the 60s, not too many people like it is today really followed the Olympics, not back then. Only people who was probably in sports did it, but not the general public. And so he had won the gold medal for boxing representing the United States at that time. I was raised up with in the Elijah Muhammad School, the Muslim school, where we had Black history starting in the 30s, 50s, I mean. So I knew about my culture, but they didn't have Black history in American schools. So I know what the meaning of names, I know the meaning of the culture of names. I know all about slave names, as you know today. And see, by me raised up as a Muslim, I honored Arabic names, Asiatic names. So when he got on stage, and he wasn't even a Muslim, but he said, my name is Cassius Marcellus Clay.
You can do that.
I'm going to be the heavyweight champion before I'm 21, so get your autographs now, because I'm going to be famous. And I said, wow, this guy's not even a Muslim. He talking trash already. And he got a slave name. So that kind of struck me. And I'm a little girl, so, I'm thinking, slave name, he's going to be famous? I don't think so. So he handed me, I was the last one, he gave it out to the brothers and the sisters. And when it came to me, everybody wanted to know what was I going to do. So he said, here, little girl, here's my name. I'm going to be famous. I said, brother, is your name? It says Cassius Marcellus Clay. That's your name? He said, yes. I said, well, Cassius Marcellus, that's like a Roman name. Do you know what Romans did to people? He said, no. No. I said, and this is the kicker right here. Clay, that's like dirt. You mold. That's your name? He said, yeah. And you proud of this, brother? He said, well, I thought I was. And I took the name and I started tearing it up. Shoo. Until you get a name of honor. Shoo. Until you get a name of respect. Shoo. Until you get a Muslim name. Because you ain't going to be famous with this one. You can take it back with you because I don't want it. I'm a Muslim. Now, that shook up that young man. He hollered, and as I walked away, I could hear him in the background, man, she tore up my name, man. She tore up my name. I said, well, she's trying to teach you something. I don't know, man. He said, no, you can't talk to them sisters. They don't talk to their virgins, and they don't talk to brothers. He said, well, she had pointed and said to me, and she tore up my name and called me dirt. Who is she? Well, she's the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's Princess of Islam, and she grew up in his house, and she's one of the top Muslims around here. She's pretty smart, too. And you don't want to go there, because to meet her father, forget about it. He just got shook up. Every time he come to the mosque, every time he come to the school, where's she at? Where's she at? Where's the girl at? How old is she? 10. 10? You know you got boys know when y'all think y'all pretty and you get rejected by a 10-year-old, you know you're upset. So that marked me with Cassius Clay from then on. When he started hanging around the Muslims all the time. But I'm going to tell that story in the book, so I want you to read that one. So I've always wanted to be a pilot since I was 10. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's grandson became a pilot. and he flew his jet. So Sultan asked me to come down and go up with him. And I said, sure. And I got up in the plane. He said, you want to land it? I said, sure. I landed even wheels. If you ever get on a plane, always try to feel what wheel the plane will land first. Some pilots land on the right wheel. Some pilots land on the left wheel. I happen to land on even wheels. Balance. And then I started flying planes. And I didn't want to go into the Army, but when I came down to Florida, the Blue Angels was one of my favorite teams that I used to cheer for. And they have a tendency of putting people in the cockpit in an F-16 and dropping 1,500 feet to scare people. And they did that to me. I didn't tell them anything. They dropped, and they expect me to throw up like everybody else do. And I said, is that all you got? Then they knew I was a pilot. I've been flying ever since. Then I went over to Islamabad, Pakistan, to talk to some of the women. These women are bomber pilots. And I spoke to them and got up in the plane, took them up in the sky, flipped the plane over twice. It's called a 360. The best high I've ever had in my life. I love flying. So, you hear things about Straight Outta Compton. Every time you hear something straight out of Compton, there's always something about drugs, gangs, and stuff like that. No, there's an airport right in Compton where I'm on the CEO board to train Black sisters and brothers how to fly. Wow. So, Betsy was one of the first Black African-American pilots.
Bessie Coleman.
And the Tuskegee Airmen was some I used to look at dogfights on TV. And I support the Tuskegee Airmen, half of the people from Spelman College. And I instruct and talk and lecture to different universities and colleges to show them how important it is to get education. Your education is your lifeline to your future. Our Black history is not just Black history. Black history is American history. And I love the fact that we're going to keep our history. They want to try to stop the history because they feel bad about what they did, but it's too late. History is history. It's not always negative. It's not always negative history. It's positive history. While the white man had his plantations, when he would leave the plantation, some of these wives would sneak and teach our slaves how to read and write. That showed compassion on the white man's side. And by them doing that, came out of some of those people who were educated by learning how to read and write. One of my greatest heroes, Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was a reporter, a journalist for the North Star, and he and all his other abolitionists who were Black and educated, they wanted to make sure that slavery don't come back again. And by those abolitionists talking to President Lincoln and other presidents that agreed with him, those white people knew that some of the white people in their lives knew how evil they are. I'm talking about the evil people, not the good ones. I'm talking about the evil ones. When you start talking about evil people, you don't put a race on them and you don't put a religion on them. They're just evil. So when people do things like they did just recently, October 7th, you don't call them Jews, you call them Zionists. Because all Jews aren't like that.
That's right.
And Jews and Muslims are getting along for decades, centuries. It's just there's an evil spurring between to divide and conquer our friendships. So don't let that fool you. Jews and Muslims get along very well. The American society don't want you to know that. They want you to take sides, especially the Israeli side, which is wrong, to fight. God didn't teach us to fight wars. Not unless you have to defend yourself. Killing on either side is bad. Killing our Palestinians is wrong. Killing our Israeli brothers and sisters is wrong. So we need to stay with our spiritual background, fight for the spirit in the spirituality of your faith. Whether it's Muslim, Christian, or Jew, you should fight for peace.